That's why this moment is so big, because that is also one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. Yeah, there were 2 penalties, but the clutchness of that performance, the inevitability of it, we all knew that it had to be Mbappe to do this for this whole tournament. Yeah. And he continues to do that. And by the end of that match, it looked like that was his crowning moment as well. Yeah, like definitely. He became a man. He was like, he's 24 years old, but he's a very young French side, and he looked like the leader in all fronts. Like, he dragged the whole country through. You saw the president up there going crazy because of this boy. A 23-year-old had the whole country on his back, and he was on the brink of greatness. It was penalties. Like, he scored his own penalty. Like, if he won, that could have been the greatest story ever too.
Definitely. And Mbappe, of course.
I'm glad he did it.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm very glad he did it.
So that definitely is within the purview of what we're going to be discussing today. But of course, guys, this is the last episode of the year of Sangaloo. It has been such a year.
It's been a year.
It has been such a year.
We need to run back the tapes to see where we started from, where we are right
Definitely,
now. What was said there, what needs to be said now.
Of course, guys, this is the official roundup of the world of sports on Sangaloo. Yes, the last episode of the year. I mean, I feel grateful to be here. Thank God, you know, for the entire year. Thank God for all the episodes. You know, just
for everyone, that all the players that entertained us, all the
everything. And it being the last episode of the year, we're having a a new guest on the show.
Yeah, my name is Diablo. It's nice to meet all of you.
Your name is what?
Diablo.
Eh?
Diablo.
Okay.
Nice to meet all of you.
I thought you said blah blah blah.
No, I'm not Tinubu, sorry. No.
All right, guys, so let's go right into it. This is the official roundup of the year in the world of sports on Sangaloo. So we're going to be doing, each one of us, our top 3 moments in the world of sports in 2022. Loads and loads of things happened, you know, across the world of sports, across football, basketball, everywhere, you know. It was a very, very eventful year, coming off the back of, you know, pre-pandemic and pandemic and post-pandemic and now 2022. So yeah, let's start off with you, Shopsy.
So with me, my 3rd moment of the year in world of sports is from the NBA, and that was Golden State Warriors winning yet another ring. It looked like Steph Curry was done and dusted. Klay Thompson finally coming back. And it was a new Warriors team. Wiggins really came into the fold. No Kevin Durant, for Steph to win again, to get the finals MVP and perform like that. That was a great moment for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 3rd moment, number 3 now, the 3 gods.
That was a very, very big moment, especially, you know, in basketball. Steph Curry, further cementing his name.
His legacy,
But genuinely, I thought the Celtics had a very proper chance.
Of course, we all did. I
watched them. They took out the Bucks. They took out the Miami Heat.
And I didn't thought that. And the reason the Warriors because they were tough and they had that dog. And you think that's what the Warriors don't have. So for them to bring it then in the finals, that was the moment.
Tatum really messed up in that final.
How about you?
Oh, my 3rd moment has to be Real Madrid's Champions League win. I think throughout the round of 16, quarterfinals, they were always dead and buried, but they always came back. They always found a way. They always found a way. It was impressive. It was wonderful to watch.
Yeah, for me, my 3rd biggest moment in the world of sports, I would say Abramovich selling Chelsea. Right. The circumstances around it and the eventuality of it happening. I'm sure Chelsea fans are still reeling off, you know, the back of that happening. And it's a major event for Chelsea.
Yeah, because of all the context around it, why he had to sell.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen. And for an owner
like Abramovich.
Yeah, we would say that's probably the best owner over the last 15 years. So
the way you're taking Chelsea from
where they were to where they are right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how Chelsea, you know, progresses beyond that point.
That's one of the most important men in English football over the last 20 years. Because if you look at the stars, I think it's over 20 years. Chelsea might be the most successful Premier League club. They have 2 Champions League, multiple league trophies, and it started because of him.
So yeah, that was a very, very big moment for me. Moving on from that, I'd like to point out another big moment, which is a culmination of a couple of moments. So it was the scandals and the splits, you know, sexual scandals and the splits. You know, we're talking about Celtics. Ime Udoka, Celtics coach. You know, he had to split from his long-term partner Nia Long because he was involved with somebody.
That was a moment.
How do you cheat on Nia Long?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you freaking cheat?
How do you cheat on
Nia Long? But unfortunately, that happened. There was also the Mason Greenwood saga. Very unfortunate incident. A beyond any iota of doubt, a very, very talented footballer. But he's gone and destroyed his career. And of course, don't forget, another major split. Gerard Piqué and Shakira actually split this year too. So that was actually really big. That was really big. So yeah, definitely for me, those moments stand out.
So we're going for our number 2 moments now.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 2 moment is, I guess, the combination of things that happened. It was Liverpool winning the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup in 2022. So that meant Jurgen Klopp became only the second manager in English football history alongside Sir Alex Ferguson to win every single trophy with the same club. So yeah, that was a big moment for me.
And that was really big considering the fact that Liverpool were on course to actually win 5 at the end of that season. 4 or 5.
4.
Yes, 4 trophies.
Everything.
And they were so close.
Every single game went down to the last game. The Premier League was the last game, Champions League was the last game. So I feel like that's why mentally those players are short. It's hard to come back from that. From almost being immortal to Carabao Cup and FA Cup. But in the context of everything, I think, because of what
you flex your FA Cup, flex your FA Cup.
What it symbolizes an era under Jurgen Klopp that we won every single thing. Can't take that.
Kudos to Liverpool, you guys tried. Speaking of the Champions League, what about Mr. Champions League, Ronaldo?
Oh, of course.
His interview with Piers Morgan. What a moment that was.
That was the moment involved.
We were blindsided. United fans we were just there watching what is he saying?
That interview was probably watched more than Harry and Meghan's interview.
Wow.
It was actually that big. It was that big.
It shook the world.
Considering the fact that we were already pissed at him because he wasn't playing well, he still went on to Piers Morgan that we don't like. We don't like him. And he went to say all those things about our manager, he said good things about the fact that the club hasn't been run properly for a long time. But then,
not necessarily good things. I mean, just things that
we agree with.
Exactly.
The backlashing of Ten Hag.
So that's the thing, right? This is one of the biggest names in world football, in the history of football, Cristiano Ronaldo, and he went and did that bombshell interview with somebody who, over the years, has, continuously antagonized Manchester United. It looked like a plot. It looked like, it was built to fail, right? From the get-go. Piers Morgan lacks credibility in my books. I don't know about you. I don't know about anybody else. But in my books, Piers Morgan lacks credibility. He's that, clickbait.
This is a man that up until 2013 had Messi as his GOAT.
Do you get me?
But a couple of interviews, Ronaldo just switch sides. He don't switch sides like that now. You're a grown man.
He recently put out a picture. He said, "Merry Christmas." Cristiano.
As in, if I get speaking on this, I might say some crass things. So let's keep it.
But yeah, that was a very, very big moment. That was a very, very big moment.
And the termination of his contract.
The termination of his contract as well. And then leading up to Portugal crashing out of the World Cup. And the way he shed tears, I felt like that was a moment.
No, when they make all this into a long documentary, it's going to be
fantastic to watch.
One of the best things you've ever watched.
And yes, I think that brings us to the number one moment.
Number one moment.
Interestingly, while we were preparing for the show, we realized that each one of us had the same number one moment.
Consensus,
in the world of sports generally. I'll start off by saying his Instagram post celebrating this moment is the most liked post on social media
We beat the egg.
ever.
We beat the egg.
So you mean we won the social media battle as well? Oh my God.
The most liked post on social media ever, and the biggest
60
moment
million plus.
in sports in 2022 is Lionel Messi finally winning the World Cup. I mean, categorically, we can say
I'll do even better.
He has won.
You can say it's the biggest moment in 2022 for sure. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest moment since I've started watching football. And I'll tell you why. Since I've started watching sports, to be honest, football is the greatest sport of all time. We agree with that. Right. 5 billion people watch the World Cup. Nothing else in the world has that many eyes. And then we took a football match that, even on its own, this match in a vacuum is one of the best football matches I've watched. To see that many late goals, to see a player score a hat-trick, and then for all that to happen in the greatest match, in the greatest sport of all time, with potentially the greatest athletes of all time playing against the future GOAT.
So this is
as far as I'm concerned, that's the greatest sporting moment of all time.
I
this is a moment, and let me tell you why. Because I feel like this it's more than 2022 because the debates that this puts to end are debates that have been going for 20 years. Before the Ronaldo debate started, was Messi or Maradona? Can you do what Maradona did? Can you do what Pele did? So these are 20 years of arguments all surmounted into one match, into one penalty shootout for that moment. I don't think it doesn't get better than that. Like, this is the most fairy tale story in sports.
Still chill out with the sensation.
I can't.
Chill out. I mean, Pele still has
everything I've just said is true. This is the greatest sport of all time. Arguably the greatest match of all time with a player who made his claim to be the greatest of all time in those circumstances. Like, there hasn't been a crowning moment for anybody like that before. Just that moment where it's like, to get that one thing, it's like, just like a story doesn't come to an end like that. And
Perfect.
Definitely. And I feel like you, the viewers out there, will agree with us, on which moment we think is the greatest moment of 2022. But if you have any other ideas, we have any other moments that really stood out for you, drop it in the comment sections anywhere you're watching this. We'd definitely like to hear
And it can be any type of moment. Before we go ahead, Tele was talking about a penalty shootout in the FPL. Like, he go ahead and penalty, I literally kicked it.
So that's something that really stood out for me. The NPFL and the amount of violence that we had in the NPFL.
Or it can even be AFCON. Football matches ending twice before 90th minutes in the AFCON. And that same referee being at the World Cup. When I saw him, I said, I know that ain't who I think it is.
Loads and loads of big moments in the world of sports, especially with football. The NPFL went through a very, very interesting. In fact, yes, the Salt Bay-ish, scandal at the end of the world,
And I saw that only, and I saw an announcement that only players that have won it before and presidents and FIFA dignitaries are allowed to touch the World Cup. So just the fact that it was touching it was like, this is a sacred object in our sports. How do you find your way down here to touch it?
Just came to put
and I saw that there's this US soccer tournament and those ones are banned him from the final for that. When I was going to go anyway, but it's been banned now, so don't
another honorable mention, Mbappe's
hat-trick
to Real Madrid.
And his hat-trick. His hat-trick was
big.
His hat-trick was that's why this moment is so big, because that is also one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. Yeah, there were 2 penalties, but the closeness of that performance, the inevitability of it, we all knew that it had to be Mbappe to do this for this whole tournament. And he continued to do that. And by the end of that match, it looked like that was his crowning moment as well. He became a man. He was like, he's 24 years old, but he's a very young French side. And he looked like the leader in all fronts. Like, he dragged the whole country through. You saw the president up there going crazy because of this boy. A 23-year-old had the whole country on his back, and he was on the brink of greatness. It was penalties. Like, he scored his own pen too. Like, if he won, that could have been the greatest story ever too.
Definitely. And Mbappe, of course.
We're glad he did it.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm very glad he did it.
Going into 2023, we know what the conversations will be, especially surrounding Kylian Mbappe. No doubt one of the greatest players that within this crop
Madrid fans are apologizing. No, Madrid, they were vexing. Now I saw Rafael Nadal, the super Madrid fans say, yeah, play the good World Cup, you can come. They are humble now.
So yeah, let us know what else you think stands out for you in the year 2022. This is a very emotional wrap up for me personally, because it has been such a year, especially being on Sangaloo. This was the year when I got to meet one of my biggest idols in the world of sports. I met Patrice Evra on this very
that was
scene.
that
was a big moment for me.
That should be on the list as well, man. Interview the Champions League down there.
What's my slogan?
I love this game!
It's a pleasure to be here with you, Patrice.
It was nice. I'm having a good time. So, Sangalooo or Sangalooo?
Sangalooo.
You know which one it is. I told you already now.
Sangalooo.
So yeah, it has been a wonderful year.
Pleasure documenting with you guys, watching it with you guys.
Of course, we wish you guys a very, very wonderful 2023. It promises to be amazing. We're coming back next year, of course, with loads more content, of course, and loads more visitors, just to keep you guys entertained and informed. Do not forget, put your comments in the comment sections. Anything that you feel, stood out for you in the year 2022 that you feel like we didn't mention and you like to give some spotlight to, definitely do that. It has been an episode.
Yep. Happy New Year, guys.
It has been a year.
It's been a year.
Happy New Year to you.
Safe. Thanks for rocking with us.
Of course. Thanks for rocking with us.
Thank you.
Peace.
What is up, beautiful people? Tele here. This is a special Sangalo. Merry Christmas to you, and I wish you a very, very happy New Year. It promises to be an amazing 2023. Yeah, catch you guys then.
Yo, it's Shopsy. Season's greetings. Merry Christmas and a happy New Year to you and your loved ones. Can't wait to rock with you next year. Peace.